Hey everybody, welcome back to the agency. I'm Wandering Kid. First things up, thanks for all the well wishes while I've been out ill. And thanks for your patience as well. Your comments and stuff like that, they really cheered me up. Made my day on occasion, so thanks a lot for that. Additionally, I'm trying a new sound setup. But we're going to see how well this works out. I got a new 2i2 sound interface. And we're going to see how this goes. So let's get going. So still in 0.90.0. And we're still got the Duna mission going on in the background. But one of the things I did was I built this here Asteroid returner ship. The idea here is we're going to deliver some engines instead of trying to bring a towcraft up. If I can get everything all lined up, it should work out pretty well. If not, it won't. We're going to see how it goes. I got a B-class asteroid coming in here to Kerbin. It's on an intercept course with Kerbin. That's where it's going to come out, so I'm going to have to head to the northwest and come back down on the other side to reverse my course for it. So when we get to roughly about there, we're going to launch. So we'll get ourselves aim 340 on liftoff. Let's light this candle. Release the clamps. And we're out of here. What I'll do here is I'll spin a little bit as I take off, get myself aimed up on the 340 line, and that should get me set to go. So we've achieved upper atmo, and we're getting ready to separate our main boosters here. Off you go. And now we just got to get ourselves up to orbit while those go die off in the atmosphere somewhere. We take a look at our orbit here. Yeah, that looks roughly right. We should be okay. So we've achieved our orbit. Apo at 86, Perry at 80. Got to go figure out our intercept now. Basically want to go from around the back of the planet. So we'll sit up right around here, ish. And now we're going to need lots of DV. So we're going to want to exit around its entrance path. So a little more DV here. There we go. Yeah, right about there. So 926.2 delta V to get ourselves out to solar orbit, where we'll fix the rest of this up. So for the curious, we did a couple of different burns to do approach, about a day or two apart, and then we did a final burn about a week before the intercept. We're down to 50 kilometers for the interception. Now for that, our final braking burn is going to cost us 102.3 meters per second to bring us into alignment with it, and then from there, I'll detach the engines and whatnot, and I'll bring you back for that. So bring you back in a moment, right after we create this maneuver node alarm. So here we are, we're pulling into the asteroid here. We're pretty well set up, and it's time to start hooking up our engines. So when we switch over to the asteroid, I'm going to spin around it a bit. I'm going to look for some good places to attach to, and I'm not really finding any. I don't see any. Yeah, I just don't see any place particularly round or whatnot. Well, I wonder if ambient light will help me find what I'm looking for here. Well, maybe. There's a couple of possibles. If I kind of want to find the roundest section, that'll give me the best shot at getting around the center of mass. I don't see anything that jumps up and screams attach here, though. There's a couple of decent points on here, though. Well, that point and right over there might be good. So we'll aim for the top of it, and we'll put the control unit on the top. And so, let's start there. Yeah, I'm getting a feel for the asteroid there. We'll switch back, and let's see here. Where is my ship? I want to see how I'm approaching, what my angle is. Where are you, ship? Come on, I should be able to see it. It's not that far. Where is it? Ah, there you are. Alright, so I'm pretty much coming down towards... Yeah, I'm pretty much coming down towards that flat spot I want. Alright, first things first. Let's detach the head, or the control node I'm going to use. We're going to use this to control the ship after we get the engines on there. This is going to basically be our front or our nose. Alright. Now, I can't seem to find the right unit here. Alright, here we go. Control from there. Let's get RCS going. Come on. What's going on? There we go. Alright. Spin in the right direction now. Now we get our RCS on, and we'll just kind of do some approach. I got fine controls on, so hopefully it won't get too unwieldy. We'll get our nose armed while we're moving around here while we close in. So I want to attach roughly around there. So it's target center of mass. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to back up a little because I'm approaching a little too close. So we're going to aim this down. And come on, find the right direction. And that's roughly right-ish. Let's get that directly on the marker there. And nah, I think that's about right because we're going to move this asteroid around so this is centered. Alright, so I'm theoretically dead center through center of mass here. I'm not entirely inspired by its location, but it should work out. Since I'm dead center, let's work with it. Alright, let's get this switched over to orbit so I can get this in the right direction for the engines. Get SAS off so I don't have to fight it too much. We're going to turn this thing to normal. And the idea here is so I can bring my engines in at the normal as well. Well, hopefully that's lined up right. Alright, let's turn on SAS. Come on. Come on. Alright, you know what? I have these wonderful buttons. Heh, I just aimed this anti-normal instead of normal. Hang on, let me turn that off. Control from the top instead of the arm. There we go. And now we'll get this thing aimed normal by controls. There. Now I should be right on target. Now, what looks like a good place to put two engines opposite side. That side should be good. Right in there. Right in the crevice. Alright, let's see. If I spin you this way and bring you dead even. Let's see if I remember how to do this right. I'm still trying to figure out how to do this perfectly. Let's see if that helps any. Puts the top of the clampetron in the right direction. Let's see. Yeah, since that's due north, I just got to get a little rotation. In theory, this should be right, I think. Well, we'll see if it lines up. Yeah. Alright, let's switch over. Let's go grab one of the engines. Alright, so we decouple you. Alright, should be driving you. Let's control from up here so we can get away from our traveler. Turn to RCS. Which direction do I need to go? Nope, wrong direction. There we go. Alright, now that we've got a little bit of float, we'll switch to our target. Yeah, we're aimed up. Alright, control from the front. And we'll drive over, and here we are. Starting to get ourselves lined up. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our upper portion towards normal. There we go. Going this way. Come on. Maybe I want to put more powerful control items onto these, but it works. Now, if we can help, we don't want to change the attitude of the rocket. So we'll control from our grabber. I probably should have spun this first, but whatever. So we're going to spin ourselves. Oh, man. Not what I was trying to do. So let's see. Let's spin around towards that. Kind of in the right direction. Nope. Yeah, I think around here? Yeah, I think I should be good on the direct sides. Towards and away from sun. So, let's see here. Bring ourselves down. Apparently I need to control my node points a little better. I don't have everything lined up the way I'd want it to. Let's see, do I go? Yep, that way, all right. Now, if we take a look, let's get this thing armed. Now, the idea is to line up center of mass with my claw instead of the claw with center of mass. So let's see how we do this. Let's steady off a little bit, slow things down. All right. Let's make sure I'm still on normal. I am. Well, a little bit off. There we go. That should help with any kind of roll. All right, now, we're just going to get the center of mass onto our target. So we're going to go a little bit... Nope, 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 not that way. Here we go. This is tough on precision. Oops, looks like I grabbed it. I don't think I was quite centered though, but we'll see how this goes. So that's one of them hooked up. Let's go grab the other one. Bring him in. Second burst, same as the first. Let's get ourselves pointed normal. Oof, I'm coming in pretty tight here. Yeah, that's about right. Now, let's get ourselves rotated correctly. And let's assume it's that way, and we'll work on it here in a moment. Control from there. Let's get perfectly radial. A little bit this way. There we go. All right, now we're going to line up center of mass again. There we go. Closing in. Pretty tight. There we go. We're hooked up. So if I've done this right, I've lined up our thrust on both sides of the asteroid directly across my center control unit here. So hopefully this won't be too bad to drive. We'll find out here shortly. We're just going to control here from the top. There we go. Now, let's see. All right, let's unlock the fuel. I wanted to make sure we didn't waste any fuel during approach. And I'm going to turn off the reaction wheels, just so we're controlling purely by RCS. I don't want to have an accidental tearing of the control arms. Alright, so that looks alright. We're at about 26 tons for our craft here. We'll be approaching Kerbin in 20 days. So, let's set up a maneuver node and see if we can adjust our approach coming in. Yeah, that took a while to focus on Kerbin, but we're here now. So, let's take a look at this maneuver node. I believe we just need a little more speed. There we go, that's working. Let's see, 173. That's a little too much. I'm not, oh! Yeah, that was a little rambunctious. Yeah, let's see. Alright, 200K, we'll do that. So, our first trial run. Ooh. I've got a bit of a right side lean there. I'm definitely not dead even. I'm getting some spin here. I'm getting some rotation. Yeah, it looks like a low-key thrust is going to work for me. It kind of works. Luckily, I don't need much right now. Yeah, this is a little tough. Come on. Alright. Yeah, well, this is working. Alright, there we go. Sure really wants to spin that way. Alright, I'm not entirely sure why this is happening. Let's... Oh, take a look at that. Let's see. Yeah, we're not on cross center of mass here. Look. I'm not dead even. That should be lined up directly towards the center post. I think I'm going to have to reseat everybody. Yeah. Let's see. How do I want to approach this? Alright, so if we take a look at this, I'm going to look at this at normal. Now, if I look at the ball, check this out. I'm a little off of center of mass. I'm aimed due into the normal, and my center of mass is just a little bit off center from my center post. So I'm going to have to reseat this Just because of that, a little bit off target. Alright, so let's start with that. Let's make sure everybody's sitting on monoprop. We don't want to run out of that while we're doing maneuvers. Alright, everybody's got some. Shut off RCS. That's good. Everybody, their reaction wheels turned back on, so we're not wasting RCS. We don't need it. And we're not doing too many heavy maneuvers here, so there we go. Alright. I'm going to aim you dead on normal. And let's see. Come on. There it is. Alright. Now we'll turn off. We'll reseat our nose cone here. Release. Turn on RCS. Get a little away from it. And we'll get ourselves back to target. There we go. Slow things down a hair. Now, need to move over slightly. Nope, the other way. There we go. Whoa. Alright, this is tougher than it looks. Well, that's looking better. Nope, wrong direction. Bring it down. Alright, I really wish I had zoom on this nav ball. Alright. Right now, I'm just fighting with it. It is very, very difficult to control this thing. I've got way too much RCS going across it. It's very difficult to nail down, but it looks like I've gotten it. Well, let's see how this goes. It looks like I'm keeping it straight. Not quite. I missed again. Look how far off that is. It's almost there, but not good enough. So how can I get this to line up without it throwing me around so much? Alright. Nope. Can't control the ISP on the ports. No thrust control. Alright, so without throttle control... Well, I do have 6 of them on there. Well, maybe if I shut off these top 3. We'll see if this helps any. I don't know if it will or won't, but just the left thrust may be able to help me get a little more accurate with it. We'll see. I just keep overcompensating every time I touch a button. So let's try this again. Well, I just can't seem to get this right. Now I'm off again. Rats. Alright, well I'm gonna have to fuss with this a bit. Well, it's closer. It's not great, but... Yeah, at least it's at least the dot's on the dot. Yeah, now let's work on these side engines. Now, I think the left engine might be the worst one, but I want to work the right engine first. We're going to hook it back up. Alright, we're going to control from here. Yeah, I'm off angle there if you'll notice. Ooh, whoa, almost smashed my solar panel there. Gotta be careful on release. Alright, let's get this lined up. Alright, retargeted on center of mass. And we've got our angles re-straightened out. We're going to approach nice and slow here. Hopefully this gets us a nice lineup. Come on. Nice and easy. There we go. Alright. It's one engine. How do you look? Let's get that out of the way. It looks still pretty uneven, but I think the other engine is the problem now. I think we're lined up straight to center. So let's go get the other engine. We'll disconnect that. Let's see here. Alright, let's get you figured out. No target anymore. I was hoping to see how badly it was off, but... Alright, let's not release this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on. SAS on for non-smashing our solar panels. Let's get ourselves straightened out here. So, control from top. Target center of mass. And we shall get ourselves turned around-ish. So let's put to normal. There we go. That should get us lined up. Now, reapproaching. And there we go. Alright, now let's see how we look. That looks a heck of a lot straighter. Ah, look at that. We're straight across the center of mass, right through our nose. Now, let's bring this into orbit. Let's see here. Back out. Focus on me. 15 days, we get a Kerbal SOI. So, there we go. Kerbal SOI. Well, 608k for my periapsis. Not exactly what I was aiming for. So, let's see here. Alright. Drag around a maneuver node. Come on. There we go. Alright, now let's slow ourselves down a bit. Oh, there we go. Target periapsis, 150k. 48.1 meter per second burn. Let's see how we're going to react here. You know what? I think I can get away with SAS doing it with the reaction wheels. I'll just shut off SAS so it just carries around. Just be gentle. There we go. Roughly lined up. We'll get our maneuver. 5 days, 2 hours. We'll do a maneuver. We're lined up on our node. We got a 12-second burn coming up, so we'll start it at 6. We should be pretty straight. And if we're not, it's going to be ugly. So I think I'll do a half throttle burn, starting at 11 seconds. That's looking pretty stable. That's kind of nice. Bit of a roll, but that's survivable. As long as I'm not drifting. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. And close. Let's turn that off. Yeah, there we go. Let's see how we look. Alright, so our next maneuver will be to pull into Kerbin. Now, let's see here. Put a node here. Add a maneuver, slow ourselves down. Nice massive burn here. Alright, now as we pull in, let's see if I can get this light adjustment figured out. Come on. Oh, we're on the dark side, so never mind. Let's see. Our burn should be about a minute and 39 seconds. 140. So we'll be doing we'll get lined up. We'll do a full burn once we pull around to it. I think we'll use RCS for this burn. I think it'll help us keep better control. And if we end up out of control, that'll be bad. So we'll do that. I'm still not liking how that looks for going through center of mass, but it seems mostly functional. But if you look, it still looks a little off. Well, it's better than nothing. So let's get ourselves over here to our burn. There we go, coming right in. Well, it's looking alright. Well, I'm getting a little bit of spin here. I'll roll, but you know what I meant. I'm not sure why. Well, I guess it works. So we'll finish our burn here. Hasn't gone completely as planned. Periapsis is dropping like a brick, so we're gonna kill the maneuver and, well, I guess we'll figure out how to reset it. I want to check the contracts. Come on. Ah, there we go. Holy smokes. Ouch. Wow. I was afraid I was gonna lose the game there. There we go. We finished a newly discovered Class B asteroid in tow. Stability for 10 seconds. How do you like that? 150k. Cost me about 200k to put it up and bring it back, but not exactly worth it, but we got there. So, this is how to successfully bring back an asteroid. Should probably straighten out the orbit, huh? Let's see, put it up around 150k. Yeah. Yeah, that should be close. Well, I'll fuss with this when you guys don't need to watch me do that. So we've essentially brought back an asteroid home. Really wasn't worth it. But I did over-engineer that rig a bit. I can always reuse the engines, that front core. I just need a delivery system again. Just need to refuel them. But I've got another 1600 Delta V sitting on this thing with the Class B. But I had way too much Delta V on the original delivery system. I think I left about $2,000 on the heavy lifter on the delivery ship. But, you know, should be alright though. Let's see here. So, with a full normal braking, I still had 1600? Definitely over-engineered. Definitely didn't need that much. So, I know you guys have all been patient, and I know I haven't put up much lately. And, well, I'm hoping I finally got this sound system finally figured out. What you're staring at here is a very simple satellite. It's one of my RST-SLSs I sent up that had way too much Delta V. And I had to go into orbit that was near the exit path of Kerbin. So I shot it out towards Duna a long time ago. So the Duna early visitor is actually going to come into Duna a little before everybody else. I set up a maneuver node right here on the descending node to see if we can't clean up our approach a bit. And in time, I'll do that for all the rest of these too. But the early visitor is the one we're going to worry about for the moment. For example, if I come over here to the Ares shield and jump to that ship, and I take a look at our orbit, I don't even see a descending node for it, so it's not as big of a deal for us. So all of this is pretty much already figured out and set up for when we want to adjust it. So we're going to do the early visitor first. So let's get this over to its maneuver node. Now as we pull in, the purpose of this maneuver node is our original periapsis was going to be 46.9. This is going to bring us down to 1.8. Let's go to fine control so we don't beat our ship up too badly here. And we'll have ourselves a nice 1.5 second burn. Precision is more important than timing way out here, folks. Just keep that in mind. There we go. Okay, periapsis of 1.09. Not bad at all. Now we are coming in at a pretty steep angle for it, but that was to be expected. This was sent way outside of standard transfer times. So either I pushed a lot of Delta V into the pattern, or it came in at a really awkward angle and I got to use a decent amount of braking DV. But what we're going to do is hopefully we're going to aero brake. Now, our Duna encounter is in 36 days. Let's add in our SOI. So the early visitor is about to get right on top of its SOI transfer here. You can see our ship's way out there. That's our approaching craft. And we might be able to see Duna. Yep, there it is. Let's kill that. And we have transferred SOIs. So if we take a look, at our SOI here, what a mess. But we have a bunch of satellite contracts we're going to go play with, but that's a whole different problem. There's Ike. Where's Duna? I don't even see Duna there. Hang on one second. Alright, so I think I figured out what was going on there. We have our Duna early visitor. If we hit tab a few times, we'll get over to where we need to be. There we go. So there's Duna. Here's where we're coming in. What we're looking at is an aerobrake periapsis of about 11K to be able to brake this ship. So we're gonna adjust things. Let's see, add maneuver. Let's get ourselves onto the orbital plane, shall we? That's looking a little better. There we go. Alright, so we'll do that burn, and then we'll adjust again. So let's get ourselves around. How's power looking? Yep, we're good. Alright, close enough. That gets us into the general vicinity where we want to get to. Now, we need to get that periapsis down to roughly 11K. We'll aim for 12 just to bring ourselves in a little tight. Give ourselves a little vig. Come on. Really? There we go. Wow. What the heck is going on there? Try that again. Alright, maybe if I warp and get things on rails? There we go. Okay, now if I bring it back a bit. There we go. Mm, 12.8, we'll go with that. So we'll bring ourselves into there. Alright. Periapsis ended up at 11.8. That'll work. So I've got an alarm to slow things down as we get to 75K above Duna, but I figured the here we come in closing shot would look pretty cool. And there we go. Duna comes into view. Our nice bright ball. All right. How's power looking? Yeah, we're good. All right, let's get ourselves turned to retro. And now we wait for Atmo. Well, we're not really doing much here in the atmosphere. We are bending, though. Oh, there's a little bit of heat effect. May need to get this a little oomph. Well, maybe not. Looks like we might be able to pull this off. The camera can't decide what it's doing. There we go. We'll be coming out of the atmosphere at about 50K. The atmosphere is going to become pretty useless at about 20. The purpose of the early visitor is really just to give me a feel for playing at Duna again. I haven't done it in a while, and I just wanted something to go in there first before I start playing with the big ships and figuring out what all needs to exactly happen through this. So I've got myself a pretty decent idea. And our apoapsis is going to slowly but surely drop. So, next step will just be some quick orbit cleanups, and I gotta go through the what do you call it? Satellite contracts I've got here. Let's see, let's focus view on Ike. I've got a satellite contract here as well. And if I focus on Duna, come on, thank you. I've got a series of temperature explorations I need to do. Let's see here. Duna's looking at a 3-day rotation. Alright, so day and a half in light, day and a half in dark. Alright. So final burn coming into Duna with the early Explorer will get me into a 75k orbit, roughly. I've evened off myself with Ike's orbit. The final burn will cost me about 211 meters per second, not too shabby. And I spent, I want to say, about 120 picking my periapsis back up and getting myself straightened out for the ascending descending nodes. So not too shabby. So our satellite is now sitting at a, well, 74.5 kilometer orbit. It's still got 2,500 delta V in it, so we certainly came over here with plenty. So I probably could have started launching very early satellites at Duna a long time ago, and just sending them in. And it's kind of a 50-50. It's a lot of delta V if you're really outside of the window, but it's not too bad. Alright, so the next step is going to be our Ares shield. Let's go take a look at that. So here's the Ares shield. The Ares shield is meant to be our Ike orbiting station, and it also has our emergency lander lifters in case we get anybody stuck. So, we shall start there. Let's take a look at it on the map. Well, we don't need that up. Okay. Intercept is in 11 days, 2 hours. And let's see, let's put a maneuver node out here. Whoops. No. I want to focus on... oh, that's why. Duna's not there. Duna's over here. Alright, so how are we approaching Duna? We're coming in across the... Oh, well. Actually, we're coming in at a pretty decent point. Let's see if we can get ourselves straightened out that way. And bring ourselves a little that way. So what I'm going to want to do with this is I'm going to want to aerobrake some down here. I'm going to want to pop up to Ike and do an intercept at Ike and do a final burn up at Ike to bring ourselves into position. So that's got us aimed at 82k. We'll do final adjustments once we get into SOI, but this will be a nice beginning. This guy has generators? Yeah, okay. So I don't got to worry about his solar panels during re-entry. We got a decent amount of delta V. I still got 241 left on this tailpipe here. Then we got 3,500 up in the upper portion. Whoops. SAS would help, huh? Alright, so we're closing in on our maneuver. We'll give ourselves just a little bit of boost there. Nice and gentle. There we go. Alright, let's see how that looks now. Yeah, that's a reasonable starting point. And when we swap into SOI, we'll know what's going to happen. Let's see, 10 days, 3 hours, 29 minutes. Okay, this is off after that maneuver, so we're going to add in a different SOI change. Alright, that's the shield. Sword, we're going to do another last minute approach. The rest of them are pretty far out. So let's go take a look at the sword. It's my Christmas tree. Alright, so here's the sword. Now, if we take a look at it, I can close that up again. Get that up. Alright, so we changed to SOIs in 23 days. Let's take a look at putting a maneuver here. Where's Duna? There you are. How are we looking? Okay, well, I'm coming in on the retrograde side. I definitely don't want that. So So we will switch that. Ah, come on. Thank you. There we go. Grab that one. Swing ourselves to the other side. That was a little ambitious. Why can't I see my Duna periaptus here? Looks like I'm gonna have a nasty little like encounter. Well, looks like I'll just bypass it. Alright, not too bad. So we'll just eyeball this. That's a collision course, that's no good. Ah. Sometimes working with the maneuver nodes too far out is really painful. There we go. Oh, that'll be a beginning. Let's see, can I adjust our approach any? I think if I come this way, there we go. Come this way a hair. There. That should bring us into a decent starting approach orbit for 14.7 meters per second. Nice little adjustment. So we'll add in our alarm clock. So right now we've got the shield coming into Duna SOI in a little over 10 days. The sword will be hitting SOI in about 23 days. The Test 2E Ike, in theory, is also coming in at 23 days. Let's take a look at that. So the Test 2E Ike, for those who don't remember, is both a lander and it's going to have a low and high satellite, which is also going to be a refueler for the tests. Now let's take a look at its current flight path. Okay, entering SOI in 23 days, 5 hours. Let's focus on Duna and see how we're coming in. Alright, so we're going to want to add in a maneuver. Let's start with that. Let's get ourselves onto the right side of the planet. Alright, now, if I bring this down a hair, there we go. And over just a touch. Alright, that brings us at an 82K periapsis. That's a good place to start to figure out our actual aerobrake burn once we do get into the SOI. So 4.6 meter burn. Alright, we're roughly in position. Start a very slow burn. Whoa, why are we shimmying like a nut job? That's kind of wild. Hello, Kraken, how are you? Alright, that whole grab the maneuver node thing was definitely starting up a Kraken response. It's probably because I've got so many different, who do you call it? Gyroscopes on this thing. Just want to correct that little extra overburn I did. There we go. There, that should work. Alright, now our SOI change will be in still 23 days. So they're going to be about 2 hours apart, the Ike and the sword, but that's okay. That's perfectly acceptable. That gives me plenty of time to work out some maneuvers between the two. The Ares boots, let's see. Yeah, I guess we'll just go through and get everybody fixed up, huh? Although I don't know if I want to do that yet. Let me jump to this ship. There's the boots. What a beautiful ship. My lovely refueler. Alright, let's take a look at things here. If I take a look at this, this is the one who can't decide when he's going to encounter. But he's encountering in 45 days. That adjustment's in 30 days, so 15 days out, that's fine. Well, come back to this and figure you out later. Let's go check out the helm. Another one of my favorite ships. I am so proud of this ship. Alright, let's see here. You think you want an adjustment in 40 days. You get an encounter in 55. So 15 days from encounter. Yeah, no, that's good. Alright, so let's go flip the shield. So after a minor mishap, where I was coming in and I accidentally hit shift and a little bit of adjustments. Now, the air braking calculator says I should aim for 12,170 if I want to leave my apoapsis up around Ike. So we'll get a maneuver into here, somewhere. I see the flash, but I'm not quite fast enough to click it when it comes in. Huh. Let's see if I change focus. Ah! No, don't do random burns. Gosh darn it. Shift tab is not my friend. Alright, now I gotta recalculate everything. My periapsis is... Okay, it doesn't want to go there. So it's dragging to places that are illegal. Alright, you know what? Let's just add him an over down here. It'll cost me more DV, but to heck with it. Let's focus on Duna, thank you. Alright, a couple of things. Let's get this straightened out. Nope, the other direction. 12K. Alright, that should get me in the right general position. Yeesh, what a mess. Alright, so I'm going to get this thing spun around to its maneuver node and pull into that. Add our maneuver. Alright, with our maneuver complete, we have our periapsis of 11.9. That's a little lower than I was expecting, but that's okay. We should be able to pop out near Ike's orbit and get ourselves cleaned up. So, let's do our next aero break. So, we just started to hit Atmo, coming through Duna. I've been kind of lucky. Everything seems to be working out on the daylight side. I was debating on dropping this tail off, just to make this easier to drive while we come through Atmo. You know what? I think I will do that. So, let's disconnect. Now, I don't want to do any counter burn until we get past periapsis, because I don't want to lower my periapsis too deep into the atmosphere. But we should separate properly here. Pretty flames. Not too much thermal bloom. So we're approaching our periapsis as we just kind of glide through the Atmo here. Wow, it's a shame I can't stop there and just get that Ike encounter. Oh, actually, this might work out nicely. We're still coming out of the atmosphere, but that's okay. We're going to give ourselves a bit of juice here. Push that back up. I want to make sure I don't run into this. Yeah, we should be alright there. Alright, now, if I take a look at Ike and set as target, we'll focus our view. Let's gas it up a bit more. Should be leaving atmosphere here shortly. There we go. Not shabby at all. We're still losing a little speed from our still being in Atmo, but that's okay. Once we get up to 50K, I will set up a new ascending node here, and we'll get ourselves put into Ike orbit. We can touch that up later. But so 114.5 meters per second, and we shall be pulling into an Ike orbit. Decent one. There's Ike, our nice big ball of Ike. Alright, so now for our maneuver node. So we have an orbit on Ike, 4239. Ike just completed 2 contracts. So, new orbital station around Ike, 300K, nice. Achieve orbit around Ike, one of my exploration contracts, 22.5. That was, yeah, okay, fine. So, we've gotten our orbits done. And this craft actually will just sit here. It was brought up as an emergency craft. It's got some extra landers on it, which it's got plenty of Delta V. It's got 3,300, well, almost 3,400 Delta V left to run around with. These front tanks, which support the rescue craft, are still completely closed off, so we're just working off the fuel here. It's got plenty of RCS still in the tanks. So this ship actually will just kind of hang out. I don't even think it's got docking ports. Hang on. Actually, because I think it'll look cool. There we go. Yeah, I don't have a docking. Oh, no, I do have the big one in the back. So it can be refueled or hooked up to something. Not sure how easily that will happen, but otherwise, this ship is pretty much good to go. So the Sword just hit Duna SOI, and I've got a maneuver node out there. It was acting kind of fussy too, but I found a place for it to go. And I've been kind of adjusting it, trying to avoid the Ike encounter. And I've got it set up so I'll end up at a periapsis of 11.5, and then we can use our Delta V from there. So if I come in here, now what's interesting is that it's telling me my stage 2 is out of juice. I don't know why. I really don't. However, all of these are the mushroom drones that I'm going to be dropping all over Duna to try and get altitude readings. So, well, not quite sure why it's telling me I have no Delta V here, but I should have 2788 still left over, so I'm not too worried about it. So in 5 hours and 26 minutes, we'll be doing a maneuver. And in the meanwhile, Ike's going to be coming into SOI. I'm sorry, the Test 2E Ike will be coming into SOI, and we'll set that up for a visitation up towards Ike, and we'll get that into a nice polar orbit. Alright, for the Test 2E, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm having a problem getting maneuver. No, oh wait, now I can finally. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust our course to come in towards Ike's path for the fun of it. So let's get ourselves onto the other side of Ike. There we go. Now let's focus on Ike. How's that looking? That's not shabby. Let's bring ourselves up a bit. There we go. Bring ourselves over a hair. Now, this obviously is not the most efficient method of rendezvousing with Ike, but it should be fun. Okay, that looks pretty decent. What we'll do is, when we come in on this periapsis... Actually, you know what? I gotta get polar. My bad. Let's get that way. Let's get that way. A little more up. There we go. Alright, so I want to come in a little over 50 kilometers for high orbit. So I'm at 24. Bring this up a bit more. There we go. Alright, now the Ares Sword will be my next maneuver. Alright, our maneuver is done, and my periapsis is going all over the place on me. I'm not quite sure what it thinks it's doing here. Let's get that locked in via going on rails. So it's having a very good time for itself. I'm going to have to do another adjustment. Somewhere around here. Let's see. So about 4 hours, about 5 hours out. So what I'll do is I'm going to add in a raw time alarm for 5 hours from now. Now this ship in its chemical booster back here still has just shy of 2K in Delta V. So we've got plenty. So we're just going to pull up on our maneuver node here. Where's Ike? There's Ike. Let's focus on Ike. Okay, so we're still coming in roughly where I was aimed at. Next step, we're going to want to put ourselves into orbit of Ike on polar. So we're going to do a massive burn. 619 Delta V, not too bad actually. And we'll clean up our orbit a bit when we get there. I want to keep the periapsis above 50K. No, didn't like that. It rebooted. Alright. So I'm just going to try and aim myself to a periapsis of, let's say, 11.2. So let's get ourselves turned to retrograde. So there we go. 11,166 roughly. I'm going to spin this over so that we're coming in nose first. And one of the reasons I want to do that is in case I've misjudged how deep into the atmosphere I need to go to get a decent aero brake out of it. This will give me the option of being able to use my engines to continue to push me out of the atmosphere and not end up on a crash path. So it's more of a self-defense than anything else. Now, one of my concerns with this ship is that the lifting units here... Where are you going? Ship just decided to just start rolling randomly. You can stop that now. Anyway, one of the reasons I'm going to make sure I spin these wings sideways is so that I don't end up with any extra lift counteracting what I'm trying to do. So we're going to roll those so that they're basically perpendicular to our flight path. And now I just need to get everything straightened out. Alright, and we're about to breach atmosphere. Now, if I was feeling really cool, I'd try and drop these off to aim them at their temperature scan sites on my way in, but I don't want to do that yet. I want to get my satellites cleaned up first before I risk the Hawks. So here's a concern. As I come into the atmosphere, by aiming it in nose first, the drag on these front wings are actually trying to rip me around. That's not necessarily a good thing. Come on. Stay with me. Yeah, I'm having a little trouble controlling this in atmosphere. I'm actually having a lot of trouble controlling this in atmosphere. We're gonna lose it. Yep. Oh boy. What just happened? Where'd Duna go? Oh, there you are. Okay, so we're basically going to hope we can spin out of the atmosphere. Once I get turned back around, I'm going to turn on RCS. Hopefully I can get out of this. Okay, we're starting to climb again, thankfully. Oh, that became a mess. Yeah, she wants to go tail first. The wing drag is trying to rip it around. There's enough atmosphere, just enough, to basically keep me from being able to keep control of the craft. So my hopes of being able to pull out of this via engines is not working. If I can get, as long as I can get back up into upper atmo and get this thing turned around, I can use some thrust. But that Apo is dropping like a brick. Come on. Alright, I'm going to turn on RCS. We're going to get ourselves turned around. We're going to force it around. I was hoping not to have to waste this much RCS, but what must be done must be done. Gotta save the ship. Come on, all the way over. Help me out with prograde. No, prograde, thank you. Slow down the turn, slow down the turn. Let's get ourselves a little throttle. Alright, our orbit's gonna be wonky, I don't care. I wanna make sure I get back up out of atmo. Come on. Bring some real thrust into play. Now this almost got really nasty. Let's get thrust again. Let's get ourselves rotated. Alright. How bad's this orbit looking? Not horrible, but not what I was trying to get done. Alright, looks like I'm back in control once I got back up above 12.7, 12.8. It doesn't look like the atmosphere is trying to rip me backwards again. I want to keep that apoapsis above 60K. I want to aim for a 65K orbit for this. Turn off RCS. Let our reaction wheels keep us in prograde. I need enough thrust to counter the drag. Just gonna sip a little fuel here, just keeping ourselves from ending up in a landing scenario. Alright, and we are back in space. What a mess. I had to do a couple of small burns, and that was far more exciting than I really wanted it to be for an aero break. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add a maneuver over here, and we're gonna pull ourselves out of the atmosphere completely over there. We're looking 55. As I said, I wanted to aim this at about 65. So it's easy to get the Hawks in and out of the atmosphere without too much extra delta V needing to be spent. Now 67.8. We'll go for that. We'll get ourselves turned around and we'll get this puppy into orbit, and I'll bring you back when we're done with that. And there we go. A couple of adjustments later. The sword, well, not on the most 90 degree-ish of orbit, has a 66.5K orbit, roughly. Mostly circular. And I think that's going to end it for this episode of the agency, guys. We've got the the Test 2E for Ike still coming in. It'll come in shortly. We've got the helm and the boots to still bring into orbit on Duna. But we've got the sword here, which is one of our major units, and we're going to go start running around with that. And the first thing I'm going to do is dump a bunch of parts. In particular, we're going to go get rid of all these mushroom drones. Come on. Okay, I can't select the other one. Why not? There we go. So all these mushroom drones in here, which are just upping my part count ridiculously, they need to go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this tug and we're going to go start dropping our altitude drones and see if we can't find some good LZs. But that'll be for next time. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.